Hello dear friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Mukesh English. In this video, I'm going to discuss about a famous story, The Boy Who Broke the Bank by Ruskin Bond. This story relates to the murmuring of a sweeper boy Nathu about irregular payment of his salary. It takes the shape of a rumor and results into the collapse of a bank. In the end of the story, Nathu, who is responsible for the whole episode, he wonders innocently about the incident. Let's know about the author. Ruskin Bond is an Anglo-Indian author. His first novel, The Room on the Roof, was first published in 1956. It received the John Llewellyn Prize in 1957. He has authored more than 500 short stories, essays, and novels, including 64 books for children. He was awarded Sahitya Academy Award for his work of literature. Characters. Nathu. Nathu is the protagonist of the story. He is a sweeper by profession. He works in the People Nagar Bank. Sitaram. Sitaram is the son of a washerman. He plays an important role in the story. Seth Govindram. He is the owner of the People Nagar Bank. Mrs. Srivastava, Mrs. Bhushan, Mr. Bhushan, Kamal Kishore, Deepchand, Old Ganpat. All of them are the villagers of People Nagar. The story is set in a fictional town called People Nagar. Nathu is a poor sweeper who works in the People Nagar Bank. He is not well paid, so he is frustrated and he is looking for a new job. Nathu is anxious about his payment. In his frustration, unconsciously, he raises dust. Sitaram, the son of the washerman, he passes Nathu and he faces the dust. Sitaram understands Nathu's emotions and he talks to him. Sitaram asks why he is frustrated, and he comes to know that the bank is not paying him his extra 2 rupees monthly. Nathu becomes emotional and he says that the bank is not paying him even his regular salary. Nathu further says, who would think a bank would hold up a poor man's salary? Not another week. I work in this place. Sitaram, after hearing Nathu's sad story, tries to give him condolence. He says that he would look out new jobs for Nathu. Sitaram visits Mrs. Srivastava's house and gets to know that she is looking for a sweeper. Sitaram suggests Nathu's name and also shares some glimpses of Nathu's story. Mrs. Srivastava tells Sitaram to call Nathu the very next day. The story takes a twist when Mrs. Srivastava tells the story to her friend Mrs. Bhushan. Mrs. Bhushan changes the tone of the story and presents it in a very different manner. Mrs. Bhushan replies, if they can't pay the sweeper, they must be in a very bad condition. None of the others would be getting paid either. This story spreads like wildfire. From Mrs. Bhushan to Kamal Kishore, from Kamal Kishore to Deepchand, from Deepchand to Old Ganpat, the story continues to change its tone and turns into an entirely different one. People start thinking that the owner, Govind Seth Ram, had fled to Kashmir with all the money of the bank. The townspeople of People Nagar start protesting in front of the bank. They shout, give us our money or we'll break in and fetch the Seth. We know he's hiding in a safe deposit locker. The crowd gets larger and larger. Some people join the crowd without having a bank account. They become restless. Soon they start throwing stones and breaks the window of the bank. Next morning, Nathu arrives and he sees the terrible condition of the bank. He becomes frustrated as he has to do more struggle to clean everything off. Soon Sitaram arrives and he shares the terror of the previous day with him. Nathu goes back to his work. He sweeps the floor and waits for the manager to claim his money. He doesn't have any idea about the collapse of the bank and he thinks about how the thing happened. For him, the event is a mystery. This story is basically about how rumors and lack of communication can cause many problems and be destructive. The whole story is ironic because the sweeper boy Nathu, for whom a bank collapses, he has no idea about why such a thing happens. He doesn't even have a bank account. Though the collapsing of a bank may seem the best idea to the readers, as this acts as a revenge to the bank's ignorance towards Nathu's struggle, it throws him in a more difficult condition. As the bank collapses, he loses his stable job and doesn't even get his dues. His future remains the same as he belongs to the lower class background. Throughout the story, Ruskin Bond tries to convey the appropriate way of listening, and at the same time, he teaches the best way to cultivate listening skill. The message he would like to deliver here: listening is the beginning of the understanding, so be a good listener. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button and also share. थोड़ा सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, थोड़ा लाइक पे क्लिक कीजिए और थोड़ा सा इस चैनल को शेयर कीजिए. Thank you once again.